What's up, you guys? We back at it again, back with another video. I was trying to figure out some content ideas to get some things to talk about to add value to the audience. And I had a buddy of mine who's also a fellow entrepreneur and also a fellow YouTuber. And he was going through my channel recently, and he told me that I have some great videos on like sharing information on how to book estate plan signings, marketing, etc. Right? But he didn't. He told me that I wasn't doing a good job of telling you guys stories, giving you guys background about what to expect when you're in this notary business and the ups and downs that come along with this. And he's right. Oftentimes in our industry, oftentimes you see on YouTube and social media where you will have notaries that will say you can earn $150 per appointment. You can work from home. You can have more time freedom. You can have control over your schedule, X, Y, and Z, right? While that stuff is true, I feel that most notaries don't tell you the losses that they've taken in this industry because it's not always wins. It's going to be ebbs and flows, and I think I haven't done a good job of telling you guys what comes of what happens when you're in this industry and the losses that you take it. All right. So today I'm going to talk about how I lost an escrow officer client. I know this is going to, I think this is going to give you, it's going to definitely help a lot of notary signing agents out there who are focusing on booking loan closings and they want to learn how to get direct business. And if you're a notary whose main focus is loan closings, I got a great story for you today on how this is going to help you avoid making the same mistakes that I made and help you build your book of business. If this is your first time on the channel, my name is Rafael. I am a nationwide signing service owner, notary entrepreneur. I've been in this notary business for 7 years. I specialize in estate planning, and let's get right into it. So a couple years ago, back in the early stages of starting my signing service, again, I always talk about networking. And so I was in a networking group, and I was introduced to a loan officer, a pretty good friend of mine still to this day. And she was starting off her business. She had closed a few deals here and there, but she didn't have a consistent notary that she was working with. And so again, I had to start my signing service, looking at again, like most notaries who come into this business, focus on getting loan closings. That was about my thing and trying to get direct business. And so through that relationship, she introduced me to a escrow officer at a title company that she was referring business to close her deals. And so for one of her, so early on within the business, I had got a signing with her, and this is a signing that I happen to do in person because normally when you first start out as a signing service owner, you want to actually do the signings first when you're working with the actual title company, just to give the title company an experience for to give them a chance to experience what to expect from you when you're performing their closings. So I took that approach. Took care of the signing, no errors, no missed signatures, initials, the dates, anything. Documents were dropped off on time, and the loan was able to fund. And so once the signing was completed, I then followed up with the escrow officer and let her know that, hey, my name, I run a nationwide signing service. So if you ever need any assistance with getting your closings filled, whether in the morning or daytime, whether it's in the morning or at night, even for last minute closings, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help you out. And so from there, I started to focus on building a relationship with this escrow officer. And so from there, I want to say probably a week after she trusted us for a closing, she reached out to me, said we had a closing. Could I help her out with it? I said, absolutely, of course. So we take care of the close. So we get the closing scheduled. I'm able to get a notary assigned, got the note. And this was and early on, I was focusing on working with notaries that I had a relationship with or that I knew. And so luckily for me, within my area, I had a notary that I already had a relationship with, told her I had a closing coming up, would she be able to help out? And sure enough, she was able to help me out. We got everything signed and notarized, and we were good to go. So things are pretty good. Things were, getting off to a good start. So let's say I'm probably about 4 to 5 signings in, no mistakes. I mean, I'm getting the ball rolling. I'm excited because I just started my signing service and I'm making the right decisions. I'm making the right decisions in hiring I'm I'm pretty much accurate in the notaries that I'm hiring to make sure these closings are completed correctly. So feeling good about myself, right? So we had a signing that took place that inside, I think, no, this sign took place in an area called Pilot Hill. Pilot Hill was this area. I think it may be like near Sacramento or whatnot. And this is in an area that I wasn't too familiar with. And at the time when I was sending out closings, I was using my Facebook group because I wasn't using signing order or close wise like we are today. I did everything manually, just sending out orders through my Facebook group. Hey, I got a signing available. Is anyone available? Had someone that said they were in this area that I wasn't familiar with, and we got the order filled. The title company was happy. They sent over the documents. I forwarded over to the notary, and we were good to go. So the notary gets the documents and forwarded over to him. He lets me know that the signing has been completed. Now, once the signing is completed, he sent back the scan bags, and the scan bags were very disorganized. I mean, very disorganized. And if you're a veteran a veteran notary signing agent, you know when you're working with escrow officers, one of their main instructions is to send back documents in the same order that you received them in scans, and also when you're sending the documents back via FedEx or UPS. So the documents were sent back very disorganized. And again, I didn't think much of it, as long as I had all the, and I looked at the page number just to make sure to verify we had all the documents. And so I looked, I said, all right, well, we got everything that we need. So forwarded over to the title company, and the title company, even though they were like, hey, these scans are a bit disorganized, but hey, we're good to go here. So I want to say a couple of days later, once the title company received the documents, I get an email from the escrow officer and said they're missing documents. And again, that they're very disorganized. Even though they accepted the scans, disorganized scans, they noticed that a few of before I proceed, right? If you're a new notary, a new signing agent, when you're working with title companies, they're going to have a set of escrow documents that need to be signed, and then they're going to be the lender documents that need to be signed for the lender. And so what the notary did, he sent over the lender documents, but he didn't send over the escrow documents, despite him getting those signed, and they were disorganized. So the title company, well, mainly the escrow officer, she was not happy about this. She was like, hey, this is very disorganized. Our instructions were to send this in an organized manner, and we're missing documents. And this loan is supposed to close today. So immediately I began to panic. Now I'm the type of person who doesn't panic often. I try, if anyone that knows me, I'm pretty reserved. I'm pretty much calm. I try not to get too high, and I try not to get too low. I try to be even keeled, even when situations are at its tightest, right? So I said immediately, I was like, all right, well, this is not good. I followed up with the notary, and I said, hey, would you happen to have these escrow documents? Because the title company is saying that, they only have the lender documents. The title company has the lender documents, but they don't have the escrow documents. Now I know you sent them over in the scans. Would you happen to have them in your bag, or would you happen to leave them with a client, or would you be able to help us out? And the did not have the escrow documents at all. He left he don't know where he did with the documents. Now I'm trying to figure out, like, how is it that you displaced these documents? You sent them to us in the scans. So how could you have lost these documents? Like, what happened? Like, did you not drop them off, or did you make an additional stop? And the notary just could not tell me what happened to those escrow documents. So luckily for me, the signing was probably about an hour and a half away from me. And to make sure that we save this deal, we have to make sure we get those documents signed. So we scheduled a whole new signing, and I was able to, drive out there to the client, drive and meet up with the client, get these documents corrected, get them signed and notarized. And I personally delivered those documents to the title company. Now the loan was able to close, but hey, it still left a sour taste in my mouth because we didn't get the job done. And if you're like again, if you're a sign and service owner, a lot of your business is really dependent on hiring professional, knowledgeable notaries, and notaries that's going to not only going to represent your sign and service, but they're also going to represent the title company in the right way as well. And so, again, I didn't get too high or too low about it, but it was something that I was like, okay, I need to be a little bit more diligent about making sure that our instructions are airtight, making sure that I let the notary know that, hey, we're here to support you in case you have any questions. Just don't leave us in the dark. We'll make sure that this is a flawless signing. So we got that signing taken care of. And then I want to say probably a month later, we got another opportunity for a closing from this same escrow officer. And she had a seller closing that was taking place. This was an out-of-state signing. That was taking place. And again, this is pretty simple. Seller closings are not that difficult. They can range between 17 to 50 pages, just from my experience. I haven't come across any seller closings that were 100 pages or more. If so, let me know if you have, or what was your experience with that. And so we have this out of state seller closing that was taking place. And I was like, all right, let's that she's trusting us to get this done. Let's go. Let's get it taken care of, right? So we get the signing field. I'm thinking I got the right notary to get the job done, and the notary does everything right. Lets me know that she communicates. I think it was a she, he, either or. They let me know that the signing was confirmed. They confirmed they got the documents. They were aware of the instructions, so on and so forth. So the notary gets the signing completed. They let me know it's been completed. I let the title company know that the closing is done. Be on the lookout for scans in a bit. The notary sends over the scans. I forward it over to the title company. The title company is happy. Only thing we need to do next is let the notary know that they're all set to drop off docs. Now, this is partly my fault as well. One day goes by, 2 days go by, and then a third day goes by, and I get an email from the escrow officer from the title company. He was asking me, hey, can we get an ETA on when docs will arrive? Because we haven't received them yet. And it's been a few days now. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you haven't received, I'm thinking, like, wait, you haven't received the documents yet? Like, what's going on here? So I follow up with the notary, said, hey, just circling back with you. We had a closing that was completed with you a couple of days ago. We just got a message from the title company mentioning that they haven't received their documents back. And I just wanted to follow to see if you happen to drop them off, and if so, can we get a tracking number so we can track down those documents? That way, we can know when to expect them. And guess what, you guys? Just guess what? Just guess. If you got this one right, you absolutely did. The notary still had the documents in her bag. The notary still had the documents in her bag. Man, and so from there, she was really apologetic. She was like, "Oh, I had some other signings came up right after that closing, and it must have totally slipped my mind. I'm going to drop them off right now." So, of course, I got to relay this news to the escrow officer, right? That hey, you're going to get your documents back late, which is something that an escrow officer does not want to hear. So I had to let the escrow officer know that hey, the notary still has the documents on hand. She forgot to drop them off. And you can imagine, again, the escrow officer is not happy because, again, a deal has to fund. The loan has to fund, and we got to get this thing closed, and we got to get these documents in the office in a timely manner, right? So the notary drop off the documents. She provides the tracking number to me, and I had to provide the tracking number to the title company or the escrow officer, and yeah, the title company got the documents back, and we went from there, and that was the end of it. So a month went by, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6 months goes by, and I have not heard nothing from this escrow officer. And so normally in the event when you're working with with the escrow officer or an attorney or someone that's been sending you 3 to 4 or 5 signings, um, and you haven't heard from them in a while, you just want to, pop up. I don't want to say pop up like go to the office, but send an email. Send an email. Send a quick phone call. It's like, hey, just following up. Just stay top of mind. Haven't heard from you in a while, so just want to check in and make sure if it's anything that we can do to help out, please keep us top of mind. And I didn't hear back from the escrow officer when I followed up, and so after that, I'd say, you know what? Let me just stroll by the title. Let me just happen to just, because at that point I didn't hear from them through the email. I didn't hear from they didn't wasn't returning my phone call. So I said, let me just stop by the office. And when I go by to stop by the office, what the title company was no longer there. The title company was no longer there. They have moved. I guess they moved to another location, and I never heard from this escrow officer ever again. And that is how I lost an escrow officer client. So for someone like myself, early on in the beginning, I was very focused on booking, like working with escrow officers, working with title companies. And if you're a person that wants to book loan closings, here's some key takeaways from the story that I shared with you. Even though we had 5 successful signings, just those 2 back-to-back signings can be not only a backbreaker for you and your business, but it's a backbreaker for the title company. And the reason why that's a backbreaker for the title company is because escrow officers rely on referrals. Their top clients are realtors and loan officers. Many escrow officers don't really have the time, or really don't really have the time to go out and network like realtors and loan officers and financial professionals, notaries. Oftentimes, again, they have to rely on referrals and rely on the network to grow their business. And so when when a realtor or a loan officer is depending on the escrow officer to make sure that the documentation is correct, no stamps are missing, no dates, no initials are missing, and that they need so this deal can close. And when the deal doesn't close, but when that deal doesn't close because of a mistake that a notary may have made, that's going to reflect poorly escrow officer. And if what the notary did, if it reflects poorly on the escrow officer, the realtor or the loan officer may take their business somewhere else. And so in order for the escrow officer to continue to get new business, they're not going to keep working with a notary service that's continuously making the same mistakes, because again, that's going to cost them business as well. So for you as a notary watching this, I truly believe that when you're working with title companies, you have to be perfect. You have to be diligent about those type of signings. Yes, you want to be. Don't listen to people who say you don't need training to do loan closings. Yes, you absolutely need the training, because you're working with title companies who have different type of documents. You're working with lenders who have different type of documents. No one signing is the same. So you want to make sure that you're educated. You want to make sure you're knowledgeable when you're performing loan closings. And you want to make sure that you're diligent. You want to double check. You want to triple check your documents, because at the end of the day, if you make the escrow officer look good to their realtors and their loan officer clients, and they know that you're dependable and they know that you're going to come through for them, whether it's at the last minute or whatnot, they're going to continue to send you business. Another takeaway from this story is, if you or have aspirations of starting a signing service, which I believe you should, you have to be diligent. You have to be very aware. You have to be aware of the notaries that you're working with. Me in particular, for my signing service. Side note: if you want to get hired with us, you gotta have a profile picture. You need to have your notary license uploaded, your bond uploaded. You need to have your errors and omissions insurance uploaded. We prefer to work with notaries who have at minimum 100,000 in errors and omissions. You want to have some type of notary training certificate, whether it's with us, whether it's with LSS, whatever type of notary training that you've done. We want to at least know that you've invested time and invest the time into yourself and into your business to make sure that you can get more of that. You have to get the training, right? All right, you got to be trained. But yeah, like I said, going back to as a signing service owner, you got to be aware of the notaries that you're hiring, because the notaries that you hire are a representation of you, and the escrow officers that's hiring you, you are a representation of them as well. And so when you're not paying attention to the notaries that you're hiring, and you don't have airtime instructions, and you're not very clear on the expectations of the signing, it can go really bad. And so if you're someone that's been marketing hard to get that direct business, all it takes is just one notary. All it takes is just one notary for you to lose that business. So for you as a signing service owner, if you have aspirations to do that, make sure you're building relationships with notaries. Make sure you are asking questions. If you got to set aside one-on-one time to talk to them, to get to know a little bit about them, learn about their personality and their experience, then that's going to raise your comfort level in hiring them for a potential signing. And the lesson that I learned from this as well was one of the key lessons that I learned from the whole experience was not taking it for granted. I believe I kind of took the relationship for granted because I was referred to the escrow officer by a friend of mine who was a loan officer. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, well, I was referred to her. I had 5 successful signings. I'm not going to let just these 2 signings pack me up and get me out of here. And she takes her business somewhere else. Well, yeah, she did. She took her business somewhere else, and I lost an escrow officer client as a result of that. And so that was one of my early losses. I learned a lot from just from that experience alone. And because of that experience, I was able to no, I don't want to say acquire, but I was able to build a relationship with 2 more title companies after that. And since then we've been that was a couple of years ago, and they still been working with us to this day. Right. So you're going to take losses in this industry. It's going to be ups and downs. But when you do take the loss, don't get discouraged. Learn from it. It's going to hurt in a moment, because it's very difficult to acquire clients, build relationships with direct business. But once you get it, you want to make sure that you do everything that you can to make sure that they keep coming back to you, providing excellent customer service, making sure you're an excellent communicator. Being an excellent communicator is going to take you very far within the notary business. If you communicate to your clients what to expect of you, if there's going to be any holdups in the process, if there's been any changes within the signing, communicate that to your clients, because you don't want to leave them in the dark. You want to make sure that they understand what's going on. And because, again, their name, their reputation in their business is on the line at the end of the day. So keep that top of mind. I hope you guys got a lot of value from this video. I'm going to be sharing many more stories about the losses that I've taken within this business, and what you can do to make sure that you avoid those same mistakes, or Euro step those same mistakes that I made, so you can get straight to the business, get straight to the money, and get more clients. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure you like this channel. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and reach out to me. I want to be able to help you guys grow your business, and so on and so forth. Appreciate you all. Peace.